Award show should not be as difficult as it was a couple of years ago. Moonlight won, not La La Land. What made him do it? He knew he was in his goddamn face. I felt bad for the man. He was Dick Tracy, and they all walked up on stage. I won. You didn't win shit.
Whoa! Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch a Movie. I'm Mike, he's Jay. Halloween Horror Month continues, and Jason's time here with us is fucking up. It's Freddy vs. Jason.
I'm kind of sad to say Crystal Lake goodbye. I don't want to. I want to fucking hang around and watch him kill those campers for all eternity.
Hey,
That's weird, but I do. It's so fun.
What do you think, like, the argument was? Like, why did they go Freddy versus Jason? How did they make that decision not to go Jason versus Freddy?
Well,
that tells you all you need to know.
Well, at the time, Mike, I mean, let's be honest, New Line Cinema acquired the rights to Jason Voorhees, and as the primary guy at New Line Cinema being Freddy Krueger, and Paramount's was Jason, New Line said, fuck that, we're going Freddy first. He's got the top billing versus Jason. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. I think it was rigged. It's a fucking sham. Fox News.
Why don't y'all fight with 8-ounce gloves instead of 10-ounce gloves, Mayweather?
I don't know. I can watch for my left hook, mate. But, you know, anyway, I don't know why they did that, but the movie itself, Freddy vs. Jason, is fucking weird as hell, but cool as shit.
It happened.
It is like the dream of all dream masters. It's like when you are a little kid, instead of talking about Superman versus Batman or Spider-Man versus the Hulk, you're gonna say who would win between Freddy versus Jason, or at least we did, and we were fucked up. But that was what we talked about a lot of times, and we finally got that answer, and we got that movie to be made. Is it weird? Is the plot kind of kooky, McCookie, Cocoa Puffs? Yes, but it has to be to make it work.
I don't know, it feels, one thing about this is it feels like it was directed by fucking John Woo. But it's very weird, but we'll get into all that. So the story here, how they tie it together is not that bad of a...
No, it was a decent idea.
Freddy wants to come back because this is the last movie for both of them before the remakes happen. Freddy wants to come back, but nobody knows his name.
Being forgotten's a bitch!
You have to know about him, you have to be scared about him.
That was the very beginning when he was like, being dead's no problem, but being forgotten, now that's a bitch! It's like, I can relate.
So that's his whole idea. He wants to use Jason, who's down in hell with him now because of that crusty fucking shit job that was Jason Goes to Hell. He's down there with him now, so he uses him. He pretends he's his mom, and he's killing people in VR land, which, by the way, it's weird. Like, Jason went to hell. Hell's supposed to be like your biggest fears, like whatever. You would think Jason would be just stuck under the lake drowning forever as a little boy.
No, he's having a good time.
But I guess the devil fucking likes Jason because he just lets him go around and kill people who aren't real. So he's just walking around the lake, and that chick's like, come and get it. You want these titties, Greg? Is that you, Greg?
I do.
Probably not, but fuck it anyways. She goes out, he kills her, and she starts doing that fucking virtuosity.
I'll tell you what, man,
shit.
Jason really got, you know, because he did the devil a lot of favors. I mean, he put a lot of people in that fucking hellhole, and good for, you know, he got some rewards. I mean, who says that 401k at work doesn't always pay off? It did for him.
It did.
His retirement plan was top notch. But yeah, Jason, but it's funny, because it was cool that they did tie Jason Goes to Hell in with it a little bit, because he said he had to prowl the bowels of hell to find somebody to help him be remembered on Elm Street.
Yeah.
But you know, and it was kind of shitty. We already know that Jason's really just a dumb shit walking around. I mean, with like a little pea brain.
Huh?
But it was kind of shitty to know that Freddy was puppeteering his ass the entire time.
Yeah.
Like, you're worth more than that, Jason. Jason, kill for mommy. And I was like, but I mean, that was kind of.
You sound like Loomis almost. Jason's goddammit, kill for your mother.
Mother is who I am now, Jason. But yeah, I don't know. That was the only part that I kind of got perturbed about, because I do. Like, my favorite is Freddy Krueger. I love the Nightmare franchise, but Jason's so fucking cool. Just to see him, like, bitch slapped around a little bit by Freddy, you know, showing his superior intellect was kind of like, I don't like that. I felt like Ric Flair getting mad. Woo! Like, but,
he used that. That's how he gets him out, though. He sends Jason, long story short, he sends Jason to Elm Street so that people would believe that Freddy Krueger's back and he's doing these murders, and then people would start whispering in the whispers in the butt cracks of the night.
Butt cracks.
And they say, hey, he's back. And it works, but here's a fucked up plot hole number one, is you've got two sets of kids. You've got these kids who live on Elm Street and they're getting fucked up and fucking crazy. You've got the one main girl who's supposed to be the good girl of the series,
Lori.
but she's got the biggest titties I've ever seen in my
She
life.
is hot though, and she is a terrible actress, but she is hot as balls.
They did that shit so badly on purpose. It's not even fucking funny.
Let's not even get to the Freddy died by fire, Jason by water. How can we use that?
We'll get there. It's dark and twisted.
What did you just say?
Why? But so you've got this set of teens, but then you have these people in the mental hospital, and that's where one of the biggest plot holes comes in, is because Freddy's whole deal is nobody remembers him, so he can't kill people. There's a plot hole here because it's still like, I know it's not like the 70s, like news still exists, people still know if there's a bunch of fucking murders that they happen. It's not like people would completely forget that.
But Mike, this is Elm Street. This is different.
They
covered it because it was a local cover-up, and they were using Hypnocell, which, by the way, Hypnocell is a dream suppressant that they're using on the kids in Weston Hills to keep them from remembering.
It's loose.
But I mean, it was funny to see this because that's also a throwback to Dream Warriors Nightmare 3 because they introduced Hypnocell in Dream Warriors. So that was pretty cool that they put that into this movie. But I mean, yeah, it's a little plot hole, but I said, fuck it.
That's not the main plot hole. The main plot hole, like, you can forgive that a little bit. Like, I'm gonna let that little guy go. Fuck it. It's a crazy, weird movie, and I live a weird life. I eat Cocoa Puffs, sometimes on the toilet.
You behemoth!
What? Don't tell him about me eating Cocoa Puffs. All the shit are great.
We don't want people to know about it, Jim.
It's a secret. There's no one back there.
There might be.
We're screaming at the sun.
Yeah, well, this is a green screen. Yeah.
Isotoners.
Yeah.
But the real plot hole comes from the fact that the kids in the mental institution, which is her ex-boyfriend, when Destiny's Child's like, you ain't been fucked in a month. She's like, you need to let that 14-year-old love go and fuck this weird guy
I think her name was
who's
Kia.
wearing Union Bay. Yeah, but
Union Bay. That's the greatest.
It is. He looks
I
like he
love
shopped
Union
at Goodies. But you got the kids in the mental institutions, which is where it makes no sense. Which I like the one kid, the really fucked up kid.
Mark.
Yeah.
Mark was fucking great. Mark was cool, man. Mark was the only one that was like, listen, man. He goes, you gotta stop. He's like, look, Keith, for the last time, I don't play checkers. I'm an Uno guy. So go get the fucking Uno deck.
Yeah.
And then he was like, listen, man. You gotta stop getting on that old ass anymore. Look, she's done with you. We're in Weston Hills. We're in a psychiatric hospital. We ain't going back. He's like, I gotta make sure she's okay. He's like, well, fuck, I gotta act like a monkey.
He was cool, but the guy who was supposed to be like the stud hero guy was fucking atrocious, man. He
You know that
always
is, though,
smiled.
But do you know who that is?
Who?
You talking about the Lori's boyfriend, right?
Yeah.
That was John Ritter's son.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh.
Watch your mouth.
Oh.
Put some respect on it.
I'm still, yeah, the fact of the matter is that guy has a condition where he can't stop smiling, and normally that'd be a great thing, but not in a fucking Freddy vs. Jason
wasn't
movie.
that bad.
He could not stop smiling. He was telling us like, hey, I saw your dad kill your mom. I'm really sorry, but he killed her. I saw it. I hope you love me still.
Do you want to get Dairy Queen blizzards? but I mean, yeah, but you know what? I kind of like that character a little bit.
Like resting bitch face, he had resting happy face.
I don't think he was the best actor of the movie for sure, but he was all right. I thought you're right. Mark is one of the best.
Yeah.
He's maybe the best in the entire fucking movie. Besides that Freebird motherfucker.
He was that kid who was doing cocaine in high school.
Well,
he just looked like he sees some shit.
Yeah. Other than there was, it was hit or miss, like as far as acting in this entire movie. But I did enjoy his performance a little bit. I mean, he did play enough of the role to be passable in a Freddy Krueger movie anyway. And then you have Lori, who's fucking that girl, as hot as she was. I'm talking about squelcher hot, like whew,
Squelcher.
fucking hot.
What the fuck is a squelcher?
I don't know. I just made it up, but it felt good when I said
It's
it.
hot, but I'm drinking juicy juice.
She was hot, but she was a bad actress. Then you have fucking Destiny Child. Let's be honest, the reason why she's in it is because of fucking her. She knows people. Like
I didn't hate her that bad though. She did all right.
I mean, she was
For this movie, she fit, but it's kind of like what they did with all the I Know What You Did Last Summer.
I liked the stoner guy. I thought he was fun, and I liked Lindenberg or Linden, whatever his name was, the little geeky
John Cusack's son.
Yeah, John Cusack's son, exactly, from The Martian.
But what I was talking
great.
about, the plot hole that I was talking about comes from the fact that Freddy's doing all this to be remembered because that's how he has to kill. But the kids in the mental hospital know about him. Like he knows, he's talking about him.
Yeah.
He's saying his name.
But no, but
He's
they
not
don't
fucking with them, and he loves mental
But his
hospitals.
power comes from dreams. So if they're not dreaming, which is Hypnocell, then he can't be remembered.
Oh well, fucking thanks for shitting on my plot hole.
You are welcome, Harry. I've reached the top.
I'm laughing, but I'm crying.
But no,
inside.
I mean, so they were using Hypnocell to suppress the dreams, and therefore Freddy wasn't getting the power. The power of Grayskull was not his to have.
But technically, it still stands because he was still telling everybody about it.
Yeah,
he was telling like the doctors and shit. Nobody would listen to him. He told a bunch of people before that.
No, he did, but the Hypnocell.
Freddy could have just used that little bit and put the tip in.
No,
he could have put the
you can't.
tip in based on that alone.
The tip is irrelevant.
Oh, fuck it.
But anyway, so yeah,
Ouch, ouch,
But what
ouch, my
happens
hair.
is that after Freddy sends Jason to Elm Street, which is fucking a butt-fuck, mind-fuck in of itself, when you see Jason killing on Elm Street, he's in the suburbs, you're like, what you doing here, dog? Like, you're just...
Get back in the lake, Jason!
It's so weird. Yeah, he's like, are you missing fishing? But it's weird to see him in a suburban setting, and he's doing all this
liked it.
to invoke fear and have Freddy Krueger's name mentioned, so that finally these kids that are not a part of Weston Hill Sanatorium, that are not a part of Hit in the Cell, that they will start seeing or hearing about Freddy Krueger. And as a plot device goes, it's not a bad way to bring them together on screen. Because I mean, how else are you gonna do it? I mean, that's the easiest way to do it. I mean, you can do the same kind of thing with Haddonfield, with Michael Myers versus Jason. There's a million easy things you can do. It doesn't have to take a, you know, Steven Spielberg fucking plot to make it happen. So once that starts happening, when Freddy starts getting mad though, is the fact that Jason's taking the glory and he's actually taking away from what he originally wanted Jason to do, was Jason just to kill a few people so that he could get remembered, then send Jason's ass back to the fucking canoes, and so he could take over again on Elm Street. But, you know, that doesn't happen because you can't turn that switch off. You don't clap on, it doesn't work. He's still gonna keep going.
Yeah.
So that's where the contention comes in between Jason and Freddy, especially when Jason finds out you've been trying to be my mama. Like, he's like, don't you be talking about my mama. You get one part where, you know, I mentioned it, Jason died by water, Freddy by fire. How can you use it? That was just, I don't know who fucking brain farted that
Didn't y'all
onto a
watch
script.
the fucking movies before you wrote this script?
I don't know what
Jason's
happened.
not afraid of fucking water. He loves water.
Well, no, I mean, he's not. No, he doesn't.
He swims in that shit.
He does, but if it rains on him, it's bad.
He's been in a lot of fucking water.
He's been in rain too, but I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe it's because that Freddy was using it, it was sewer water. I don't know. Remember Manhattan?
That was dumb.
Remember Manhattan?
Yeah, he fucking swam to the goddamn boat.
I know. I don't know what. Like, that's weird. Like, if I spray a water hose at Jason, is he just gonna crumple up?
He may be slightly uncomfortable
No,
in the
so
water,
if
but he's not
Jason,
afraid of
if
it.
I was at Crystal Lake and Jason's walking toward me and I know I'm gonna die, but I see a water hose like a cat squirting,
Jason
and he's
lives.
gonna be like,
Jason,
like, yes.
Jason lives. He walked out into the water.
It's weird.
To kill that dude.
I guess it was because when they, you know, what I was getting to is when they all get together and they come up with a plan, an idea to get the Hit in the Cell from Weston Hills, to bring that and give that to everybody in fucking town, which is, okay, that's gonna work. I don't know how you're gonna get every fucking kid in town to take this, hey man, take this pill and drop it in your fucking mouth. It'll give you a rush. How are you gonna get that to work? Are you gonna drop it in the water supply?
Liam Neeson and Batman Begins.
Well, when they go to the hospital to get the Hit in the Cell, the stoner dude, that guy's funny as fuck. We'll get to the field party, which is one of the cooler scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
But after, you know, he's out there and he's smoking pot and he's getting high. Then, you know, Freddy pretends to be this little slug thing coming in, getting toking with
that looked
him.
like such shit.
It did. It looked like bad
Ugh.
CGI. But he follows the guy, and then basically Freddy possesses him after he pours all the Hit in the Cell down the drain, gets rid of it so that they can't stop him. You know, they're not going to be able to stop Freddy from coming back. Once Freddy possesses him, though, and Jason's on the rampage and he kills everybody. It's funny. He's sitting there, you know, as in a human form. The guy puts like needles in a trank, and he's gonna trank fucking Jason. And they're all running down the hall and trying to get away from Jason. And the guy's just standing there, and he was like, "Come on, we gotta go! Come on, seriously!" And he's like, "Let me handle this, bitch." I was like, "Yeah."
That was cool.
That was a cool scene. And then when they trank Jason, he gets knocked out, and that's when he enters into Freddy's dream world, and Freddy can fuck him up. I want to go back to the field party. The field party was one of the highlights of this film.
It was.
One of the highlights. There was a mini highlight, but this was one of my faves. One of my faves. Because in that scene, you get fucking awesome Jason. You get some brutal fucking shit in a cornfield. There is no children's. This is just brutal Jason in a cornfield, and it's weird. It's like you're in a cornfield.
Messing with Sasquatch.
It's like you're in a cornfield, Jason. Like, you're not even, there's no
It's
lights.
corn, Jason!
Yeah, and like, you know, Jason, you know, and by the way, that little fucking turd guy that tries to rape that girl, I'm glad he died, like, in a very
You knew he was
brutal
going
way.
to.
Like, yeah, because
One of those few little moments where serial killers become the good guys.
well, in this
Those are
movie,
fun,
Jason kind of was the good guy. That was
Yeah.
that was the weird thing. Jason actually was the good guy in this movie.
which is kind of dumb.
It was weird, but I kind of sided with him. I'm like, stop it.
Yeah,
But,
but it's just the fact that Freddy can manipulate Jason, I'm fine with. But that these stupid fucking kids manipulate him to try to get him on their side is kind of dumb.
Well,
I don't like that.
I
for
like
Jason.
the part.
You're better
you know,
than that.
He stabs the motherfucker after he was trying to rape the girl, throws him out, you know, past yonder.
Like 6 football yards away. Like
That's CG shit. That fucking sucks. He frisbeed that motherfucker.
One of my main problems in the movie, I'll just get out of the way, I'll let you continue your point, but one of my main problems is the movie is like, the fight scenes are cool until someone punches someone and they go flying 30 fucking yards away. Like, it's not Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
No, but that's that, you know, Jason had some monster drink. Like, he was hyped up.
I
He
get
was
it in
fucking hyped.
Freddy's world because Freddy can do shit to
Yeah.
Jason, but even when Jason would hit Freddy, like, like in real life, he would go flying like 60 yards. Like it was too much. It made it
Well, I
unrealistic.
think they were just basing it on the fact that at this point, you know, Jason's full-on supernatural, so he can do crazy shit too in the real world. But anyway, when he goes through the cornfield, though, after he kills that one chick and ruins Freddy's day by taking her out of Freddy's dream world, so he can't collect her soul. You know, these two, he's like, this Everclear is kicking my ass.
That guy so badly wanted to be Chris Farley.
Yeah, he did look like Chris Farley. And then he turns around, and then Jason's just standing there looking fucking glorious. And he was like, well, hey, Jethro. He's like, this here's a rave, not a Halloween party, so why don't you go find a pig to fuck? I was like, holy shit. And then Jason's like, nope. And then that guy, the jock dude's like, go take your ass. And he does this fucking.
That was badass.
Yeah, he like breaks his neck, and that fat guy's like, holy shit.
Oh.
And then the only thing he could do, and I guess anybody in that situation, he throws the Everclear on him and lights him on fire.
Actually, that was, giving that guy credit, I was watching that and I was thinking, that's one of the smartest things a victim in a fucking Freddy or Jason franchise has ever done.
Yeah.
It was just immediate fucking cocktail Molotov, suck my dick. But then you just get the badass shot of Jason
walking with flame.
It was setting the whole fucking field on fire.
I don't do that. That was so cool to me.
Like you're a bull in a china shop. Your feet kick down walls as they move.
I know. I just felt like, I don't know, they should have played some goddamn heavy metal and have and him like walking through the field with the fucking fire on him, and he has a goddamn machete, and he throws at that fat bitch and knocks him down, like right through the chest, bursts out. Great scene.
That's great.
Then he's walking through there, and everybody's screaming and running in all directions, and he's sitting there with his fucking glorious machete, hacking people like he's gliding. He goes, my name is Marcus Aurelius. He's like, I'm husband to a murdered wife. Like he's just hacking motherfuckers left and right, and it was so cool to see that. And then, you know, that was just a great scene, man. It was so like high octane and energized, and it felt good. It felt good to watch that.
It was almost Jason's Michael 6 moment where he fucks up people in the doctor's office. He kills all them doctors.
Yeah,
that
scene was just scary and cool, but this was just cool.
That scene for Jason, Freddy 2 when he goes crazy at the pool party, and Michael 6. Those are 3 of the badass, most carnage at one time scenes you get.
I just fucking loved it. Every slice was like, ah! And it was like, yeah! It felt good. I don't know what. And then, you know, when they you know, get in the van, and they're talking about Freddy again. That guy was like, fuck Freddy, some dream bitch. He's like, that dude in the hockey mask was really mad. Like, that's real. And he's like, that goalie was pissed about something. And that cop from Dead Man on Campus shows up. I can't remember him from anything else. I've seen, he's like one of those faces.
He's in Riverdale.
It's so smooth. Like,
and Neither Roxbury too.
Neither Roxbury.
I'm just concerned about your tries.
But the you know, the new cop that shows up is the hero cop. And to me, you know, I know the guy's probably a decent actor, but I can't take him seriously after seeing Dead Man on Campus, the way that he was acting like a crazy frat boy in those movies. It's hard to really take him seriously as a cop, and now he's not gonna snap into a Slim Jim at some point. But anyway, then that's when they come up, you know, oh yeah! They're gonna take Jason back to Crystal Lake while he's fighting Freddy in the dream world.
At least they'll have home field advantage.
Yeah, that was stupid. And then try to pull Freddy out of the dream so that he can fight Jason in the real world and therefore maybe die.
Okay.
And that's where we're at that point. Now,
I'll go there, dog. I'll go there with you.
I'm gonna take my car there, I'm gonna check it out, but I'll probably leave later. But you know, that as dumb as that is, I mean, we all knew that's going in. I mean, come on, it wasn't gonna be a serious fucking attempt at a movie, but it was still fun when you get to the point when because let me tell you one thing they do really cool.
Mean Gene.
Mean Gene. Oh, I'm going to take Andre the Giant and fuck him up. But when they get to when Jason's dreaming and Freddy fucks him up, that was a pretty cool scene. That fight scene was pretty decent.
Let's talk about those as a whole. Like the fight scenes in their entirety. It's like that. They do it right because you get Jason has to fight Freddy in Dreamland. Which if you had this conversation, that's what you talk about.
That's the only way you could do it.
Who would win the fight? Well, it depends on where you are. If you're in Freddy's world, he's gonna fuck Jason up. No question about it.
Well, if you're in Australia at 9 o'clock, what time is it next door?
But if you're on regular land, then Jason's gonna fuck him up, and you got both scenes, and they actually did some of that well. I don't like some of the stuff in Freddyland, in Dreamland, when they have Jason knocked out, because it's just a little bit, like I said, hokey, like when he's like flying him around and shit like that. But you do get some really good scenes.
Well,
the only problem with that is that Jason wins a couple of those little moments. Like when he drops that fucking tower on him, Jason fucks him up for a minute. And again, there's 2 things that I question while I watch this, and I can't help but think it. Like, if Freddy can fuck up Jason in Dream World this bad, like, if Jason was a human being,
he'd already be dead.
He would have died 17,000 times in Dream World.
Jason's more than
But yet Freddy's had so much trouble with humans down there before. Like he's had to fight a little bit for them.
I think that if we haven't got to the Nightmare Elm Street series yet, but I think that what we'll find when we rewatch the Nightmare on Elm Street series is that Freddy has trouble with people with strong wills.
Yeah.
If you have
That's
a strong
true.
will and you are able to control your dreams, then that's when he has a problem with you.
But even then, at the same time, like, it just, some of the fighting scenes were really cool, and it's exactly what you would expect. I mean, basically, in Dream World, Freddy is fucking Green Lantern.
This was like pre-Batman versus Superman. Like, this was pre-shit. And you're like... Yeah. But then at the same time, you're like, stop it, you're friends. Like, you don't want them to fight. It was like Marvel Civil War. You're like, what are you doing? But it was cool because they mixed so many cool elements because of Freddy's comedy, humor / black comedy with his just dementing, fucked up sense of humor. They mixed all that stuff really well because there's, we saw some scenes where he was talking about, raping, not raping, but talking about little girls.
They
and
made
shit.
it dark.
They did.
At the beginning.
But then right on saying that, on the other side of that, he's doing that fucking, ping pong thing with Jason or the pinball machine. He's like, tilt. I mean, there were so many different ways they mixed it with Freddy. It was cool because you got the old Freddy that was just nasty and disturbing, and then you had the more fun Freddy that everybody knows about, like that really started about number 3 in the Nightmare series onward. But she's like, I'm gonna give him mouth to mouth, and she gives him mouth to mouth, and then he sets the fuck up. He's like, who the fuck don't touch me? and he had Trank at him and knocks, the van wrecks or whatever, and then he goes off into Crystal Lake. In the meanwhile, the main chick, Lori, is in the dream with Freddy wanting to pull him out, and he's fucking Jason up at this point. Like, at this point, he's really fucking Jason up. And there's one part where he's fucking a counselor, and she's like, aren't you gonna help him?
That was a great fucking scene,
and he like turns around, he's like, it's not my fault that this bitch is dead on her feet. Well, what I was gonna say though is after Freddy is fucking that dead, counselor or whatever, and that was cool that she knows that Freddy's gonna, murder Jason.
That scene was so fucking
But
Nightmare on Elm Street.
when they are able to revive Jason, so he comes out of the dream state that he's in and able to save him, basically they save his life. Freddy gets fucking pissed, and he looks and he's like, yeah, and he goes up there. That's basically when you realize you're late for work, and he like rises from the fucking water, and like this cool fucking slow-mo scene where he jumps out, and his shit's red, and his ears he looks like a demon.
Dude, he looks like Freddy fucked the demon from Insidious.
Yeah, I mean, you're like, Jesus Christ, what kind of hangover did you have last night? But he looked like that, and he was like, I mean, at that point, you're like, Freddy's fucking pissed. I mean, when you get him to that point, you have really crossed a border that very few have done before. But she grabs the motherfucker, takes him into the real world when just the moment that Jason breaks through the cabin, because at this point, all the survivors have got to the Crystal Lake, and Jason's there, and they're waiting for her to bring Freddy out. He drug her a little deeper into her own psyche. He shows that he killed her mother, which was a big point in the movie because Will had thought that her dad had done it, but but that's when you get really creepy pedophilic moment when he's on the floor with her, and he's like running up her skirt. It's like the first time it's like bloody.
Hard to watch, Jim.
Yeah, that was like, damn, man, you guys are not holding back. He's a child murderer, and he's doing that shit. Then he gets dragged out, but it was funny when he turned around. He's like, oh. To me, when he turned around and he realized that he's in the real world, when Lori brings him out and he sees Jason over there with the fucking fire, that whole scene looked great. Yeah. That looked amazing. That shot, he looked like a burn-up Sean Penn, like surprised. He's like, is that my daughter? In Mystic Lake.
That's the second fight, basically. It's the second main fight, and this time it's on Jason's turf. So we got Freddy's turf, and they give you Jason's turf, which is really smartly written. It was a great job. That part was smartly written and good to do. But what I liked about Freddy in this scene was the only way he could match Jason was to use his cunning wit. And what he did was he was, they were on that construction zone or whatever, and he was dropping shit on him, and he threw those spear things, those rods,
was fucking him up.
Held him still. Like Freddy, in my opinion, if you had to put it at the end of the day, I feel like Freddy won.
No, he didn't.
Because Freddy fucked up Jason way more on Jason's turf than Jason did in Freddy's turf.
Maybe he did. And well, that's because Jason, Freddy had speed, but Jason had brute strength. And but I didn't know that Freddy Krueger was goddamn jujitsu master of Yoda. Like, cause he was like jumping up, going. I mean, he was doing crazy shit.
If you put him in a cage, if you put him in a fucking steel cage match, Jason wins. Cause you saw what happened on the dock. They get to the dock and Jason fucks him up.
Well, I was waiting on the referee to come up to Freddy, like, whatever you do, don't hit him in the balls. He'll take it personally. And he actually does hit him in the balls. He's like, oh, it's like Jason has steel balls.
Freddy had some karate movements.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I bet Robert England had a lot of fun doing like full-on fucking fight scenes.
It was so weird. Like, he even does an elbow drop at some point. Like, I mean, it was really cool, but it felt like I was watching the Ultimate Warrior fighting Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
It's like, who's gonna win, me and Jaden? And you're like, oh my God, it's the two biggest icons in wrestling.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something right now, Jim. I am so excited. I don't know. Are we gonna have the Hulkamaniacs or the Warriors? That moment for every fan of Jason Voorhees and Freddy Krueger in that moment united. I would have loved to have gone to the screening of that and watched it with true fans and just seen the reactions, because man, that would have been so fucking sick. Because it really was, when he stands up and they're both in the fucking fire and they're gonna go at each other, you know it's time to drop your pants and get a dick sucking.
It's time to fuck, Mac.
Pretty much. At that point, it was off the rails. And Kia, Destiny's Child's trying to think of another song, but in the meantime, Freddy walks over and he's like, "How sweet, dark meat." That was again, throwback to what his old sayings are. And then, she kind of makes fun of him and berates him for wearing, a Christmas sweater and says some things. And then about the butter knives, it's like, Jason has this long, and and then he's like, "Hey, bitch." Because, and then all of a sudden Jason goes fucking, that was a cool scene. I like that scene. And that's what you're talking about, though. The way that Jason sliced her and she went 500 feet and hit a tree.
That's the thing. And about the fight scenes, too. Like, the fight scenes, like, they would be interspersed with moments of real coolness. Like, wow, that looks cool. They actually did this scene well. And then there'd be a quick scene of someone throwing someone 100 yards away, like it was fucking Mortal Kombat. And that stuff I didn't like. But ultimately, dude, like, I enjoyed the fighting scenes between them a lot.
Yeah, they were fun, man. And that when I bring up Batman vs. Superman, because when I was watching that happen, or even Iron Man versus Captain America, it was still, to me, it was just as fucking impactful. I'm like, holy shit, this is happening right now before our faces. We're watching it. My face is melting because I can't believe it's happening on screen. The only way it could have been better is if fucking Bruce Campbell come out of the forest and be like, "Boomstick, bitch." That would have been
Jesus.
Where's her? Jesus! What's happened? Jesus! Is the world ending? But it's the funny thing is they zoomed in on his teeth because they wanted to see his fucking teeth all gingivitis up. Like, gingivitis is the #1 cause. Like, I was like, why? I know his
Freddy's teeth look like shit.
Yeah, I was like, why are your teeth not sparkly?
Yeah.
You have all this time in hell to brush, but you don't do anything.
Not just that, dude, but they went too far with his teeth. His teeth didn't look right at all to me.
They look like fucking
And his makeup
sticks.
sucked, except for that one scene that you talked about on the dock when he had the red going on.
That was
fucking amazing.
That was a killer.
But for the rest of it, I almost wonder if Robert Englund only agreed to come back if they didn't put him in the makeup chair for so long, because it did look kind of cheap.
Yeah. After this epic battle, and Will is trying to get in the fucking boat as a smart man would do, and Laurie's like, "No, I've got to stay." He's like, "What are you talking about? Jason's fighting Freddy right now. We got to go." He's like, "No, he's been trying to scare us all our life, and now I'm going to watch him die." I'm like, God, dude, that is so fucking terrible. That was a terrible line.
It's a summer
terrible
day,
idea.
And you take your girlfriend to get a snow cone, and the line's really fucking long, and then it starts storming, and it starts raining, and there's lightning, and everyone's in danger, and she's like, "I want my fucking snow cone!"
The very last part of the epic scene is they're spitting blood at each other. Jason, like, punches right up through fucking Freddy's guts and goes to his heart. In the meanwhile, Jason takes the machete and goes through Jason's heart, and they're both splitting blood. Like, there's blood coming out of Jason's mask. He's spitting blood. And
it's like Arturo Gatti.
I know. It's
Mickey
like
Ward all over again.
The third fight is epic. And then they get blown up, sky high. Freddy walks out. This is the part that lost me a little bit, though. So while Will and Laurie are recovering after they both get blown sky high, Wendy, I can fly. So after they're fucking blown sky high, yeah, and they land in the lake, and they all think they're dead. Of course they're dead. I mean, why the fuck wouldn't they be? I mean, come on. Joke. They're supernatural beings. You just fucking set them on fire and blew them up. And you didn't even blow them up. They just got blown away. They're all recovering.
Jeff Bridges.
Freddy walks up, one-armed Captain Jack, and is gonna kill him with the machete. Then Jason appears out of the water like fucking, Delta Force, and he's like, and throws fucking Freddy's own glove through his chest, bursts that shit out. Laurie gets up, grabs the machete after Freddy drops it, and chops his head off. He falls into the lake, and then she walks over as Jason's kind of floating down and drops the machete. I was like, so is Jason appreciative? And he's like, "Thank you. Thank you for returning me to my leg." It's weird, like,
they try to make him a good guy.
That's stupid. And then they walk off in the sunset. The last shot, I like the shot, but I thought that Robert Englund was done. Like, he didn't, when this movie came out, he had said, "This is the last time ever I will come back as Freddy Krueger. I am never, ever, ever coming back." But of course, you can't have that. This is New Line Cinema. At this point, Jason walks out fully refreshed, fully Sprite, fully zestfully clean. I mean, he had had a shower, and he's like, he looks good. I mean, I was like, "Man, you looking toit." He's like, he in that gym, and then he's dragging Jason, Freddy's head, and then Freddy looks at the camera, winks. You have that cool like ending.
It's something, man. Like, you don't really want to make a clear winner, and
that boogers.
No boogers.
No boogers.
They don't really make a clear winner, and I think that's maybe how it should be. Like,
well, let's be honest. Like, who's the real? I mean, come on.
I think, as I said,
It's gotta be
I think Freddy won.
In the beginning matches, Mike. But are you blind, Judge?
It's like James Bond.
He won like 6 rounds.
It's like James
5
Bond
rounds
versus Jason Bourne. If you put him in an octagon or a boxing ring, Jason Bourne's gonna fuck up James Bond.
The game is rigged. The game is rigged. You took the purest thing in boxing history and you fucking ruined it.
If you give him a map to play on, James Bond's got more tricks and toys. He'd probably fuck up Jason Bourne based on financial status alone.
Let me tell you something. I will say this. That was that Fire Marshal Bill. Let me tell you something. I think, again, Freddy Krueger by far is my favorite. I love Freddy Krueger. Michael Myers is close second. But Freddy Krueger, I've always loved him. But he, in the end, really lost the fight. I mean, because he did fuck up Jason with his Yoda powers early on, and especially with his Kung Fu. I didn't know he had that in him. Good for him. He'd been really taking those jiu-jitsu classes, but in the end, Jason won. I mean, he didn't chop his head off, but he fucking and Jason was important.
He did not chop his head off.
And Jason was the one that came back. Freddy didn't. He did the wink thing, but I want to ask you guys a question. Now, how does that make sense? Freddy exists in the dream world. How did he wink? His head was fucking decapitated in the real world.
Yeah, I mean, but going by that standard, Freddy would have been dead almost instantly as soon as the fight began if he's human. So what is Freddy when he's in the real world? Well, he's clearly not human still.
He's not human. Like, he has supernatural powers, but he doesn't have he's not, is he immortal at that point? He's not immortal.
What about this? What if the whole fucking thing was still a dream?
I mean, you could
What if Jason never actually woke up from the tranquilizer?
Well, maybe it would be Laurie. Because she was the one dreaming about it with Jason.
But why wouldn't Freddy just fuck with her then? Like,
maybe that's the whole point. Maybe letting her believe, because Freddy's all about fear. So if he's letting people believe that they had victory and then snatch that from their mouth, that would. Anyway, we're getting way too meta and deep into that because it really doesn't matter.
But I think
it was a great fight.
If you go to the cards, I just say that Freddy won because Jason fucked up Freddy more in the Dreamland than Freddy fucked up Jason on regular land. And when they got close, and there was nothing for Freddy to use, that he had no smarts to use, they were on a fucking dock with water, Jason fucked his shit.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question. Who walked away with the gold? That'd be Jason. Because he walked away with his fucking head.
But technically the fight continued because Freddy was still awake.
He had no body. What is he going to do, bite him to death?
I don't know.
He's going to gnaw him
It's going to be the cult of Chucky. He's going to be blowtorching his head.
No, he's going to put his, maybe, and he's going to put his head next to his mother and they're going to make out. Like, that's what's going to happen.
Freddy will fuck with him and be like, hey,
yeah.
But at the end of the day, I really love seeing Freddy back in action again, even if the CGI was terrible at points. And like, you almost wish they didn't have as much money as they had because Freddy's scarier without all the effects that they use and shit.
Low budgets.
And they went back to some of the same old tricks with Freddy, but it was just fun to see him in action. It was fun to see that whole thing. And when you go to Jason, it was really fun to see him on Elm Street. When he killed the asshole in the bed, one of the better Jason kills.
We didn't mention that really quick. That was probably the best death scene in the entire movie.
It was fucking awesome.
Like, he didn't just stab the motherfucker enough to where his intestines fall on the floor. Then he says, crumple it up. And like, it's like, my feet are touching my face. That was badass, dude. That looked fucking great.
It was great.
That was a cool, and it wasn't, Jason was pissed because he was like doing this with his beard. He was like, I hate that fucking bread.
And then
that was so cool.
I liked how they tied it together in the beginning. That was really fun and batshit crazy. We focus on the kids too much because that's not what we came to see.
I'm gonna give the movie a 7.5 myself.
I was in the middle of my fucking goddamn rating, you piece of shit.
Oh wow, because I thought you were done.
No. No, I love that stuff. I love Jason on Elm Street doing something a little bit different. I like just seeing Freddy on screen again. The fights were way too fucking Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon for me, but at some points it was really fucking cool. And the movie is bad by all standards, like movie standards.
If you're not a horror fan, it's not for you.
And just as a movie, you can't look at that and be like, oh, they did this really well. But
it's a love letter.
It was fun. It was fun. It was a blasty blast. I give it a 6.5.
Yeah, I think that at the end of the day, it's a love letter to the fans of both franchises. Like, I think that it was their attempt to be like, we didn't forget about you guys. We know that you guys have followed and kept this thing alive with Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street, and nobody else is going to get it if you're not a horror fan. If you're not a Freddy fan, if you're not a Jason fan, if you're not a Myers fan, you're not going to get it. So that was for us, and I appreciate that for the fact that they did it in that way. Because it's a hard thing to bring that to screen anyway, and there's no fucking way they were going to go for an Academy Award or do something that was so fucking, psychologically mind-fucked that they were going to get anything for it. They were just like, look, let's bring these two great characters on screen because people have been asking about it. It's a bedroom idea where people talk about it, amongst themselves and say,
I don't know about it in the bedroom.
I mean, I've had some weird girls, but or like you know, sitting around with your friends, and just who would win? Like that's what it was, and they were the first one. Batman vs Superman took forever.
It was almost as good as you could imagine it being. I do just think that if they'd have went batshit fucking cuckoo crazy and just done some weird shit, it would have been even cooler.
You know it's weird. I love this movie, and I loved that part of it. I loved the idea of the love letter to the fans, but and I don't know what this says about me, but I just don't want Michael Myers involved in it. I just don't want Michael Myers. I don't want you to mix my shit with that, because if you do that, it would feel like you cheapen Michael Myers.
He almost just doesn't stand on the same supernatural level as they do.
Well, he has supernatural powers, but
he's better with babysitters and shit. Like I'm not saying like he wouldn't hold his own. Like I think Jason, that's a whole fact. Let's not even fucking go there.
One day we'll have a video about that. Why we don't think that Myers should be involved.
But what are y'all's thoughts on this fucking movie? Did you get everything you wanted from it? How could it have been actually better than it was, or do you just appreciate that it happened and that exists on this planet? We have a Freddy vs. Jason legit studio fucking movie. That's fucking awesome.
Fucking great, man.
That's fucking crazy. Comment down below, let us know your thoughts. We love your fucking faces, and if you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button and get some goddamn whale opinion.
Get on that prime time, bitch.
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie. We watched it. We watched a movie. Yeah. You know what? We did a review. We watched a movie. We watched a movie.